we going?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna show you some flower sweep stuff that I've been doing for a long time, and after that, some super flower sweep stuff. So whenever I'm in close guard, I always like to go underneath this side, on the leg. No real reason, I'm just left hand dominant in jiu-jitsu, but I'm always gonna be fighting for at least one sleeve. So when I go underneath, I can pull this up from almost everything I do from guard. It's the same thing, like if I pull it across, he'll always get his elbow back. If I pull it up, I can open up my hips and start moving around. So as I pull this up, I'm shooting underneath and shooting my hips out. Now I don't want to stop with just taking this underneath. I want to like lift it like a shot put. Don't fall. I'm just trying to get this almost all the way up onto my shoulder. I'm trying to keep this controlled as much as I can, but once I get this here, it doesn't matter too much. Even if he postures up, I'm going to be hunting for this. I don't want my guard to just open up, so I'm going to be keeping a lot of pressure. And so I'm out here as much as I can. So basic flower sweep, I'm just going to knock him over here, but that stops working once you get to the higher levels. I'm going to have to start keeping his post reaching up behind his head. Now I can take this up over his, kind of really slow if I wanted to, just establish dominance, but on the bigger guys, they'll always get a post. So I have to use my hips a lot too. So I'm always grabbing this, using this to get myself underneath, and I'm shooting my hips up behind his shoulder, taking them towards his head. Come back. Just kind of basic flower sweep stuff, nothing complicated there, nothing really new. So now we're gonna assume the guy's just better. He's not giving these controls, or let's say he clubs my head. Yeah. So from here I'm gonna abandon this arm. It's not gonna do me anything, I'm not gonna be able to make distance, but I will switch the back of his collar here, start making space. Using that to get my hips out, I'm gonna keep this. If he pulls his arm like that, he's just in a triangle. Normally they won't do that, so I'm just gonna be here. I'm gonna use my elbow collapsing to take him over, and anytime I can grab this, I will. Taking him towards his head. Now, that's just kind of basic flower sweep stuff. There's nothing super new there. But when the guys are just stronger than fuck, say they're better than you, that's when I'm gonna start playing with this lapel. There's some really stupid shit you can get away with, just feeding it around the throat, using this for the flower sweep. But honestly, most people, the second you start feeding this up, they're not gonna let you do it. But what I can do is make this into a super flower sweep. I'm gonna use this as a control of the arm to pull him up. And once I pull it up, I'm gonna like kind of punch it past him to get a little bit of his weight off. At the same time, I'm gonna be shot putting, opening my hips. I'm just trying to get this fed to here, then re-bite down. If I can somehow grab both at once, I would, but you know, real world doesn't work like that. Now I'm gonna use this to just completely lift him up. Now, if he's better, he's just gonna posture up really hard here. Now, I can do some stupid stuff like start kicking him over, going into the matrix from here. Okay. You can kind of get away with that sometimes, but I'm still gonna just try and flower sweep him from here. So posture up, not super far back. But because I have this here, he can't really get me out of this position. Even if he goes underneath this leg, I can still use this for the flower sweep. Typically this works until they get like 100 pounds more than me. So I'm just gonna use the bite of this going down to just kind of slingshot him or rubber band him. If it stays behind his shoulder, it's a lot more pretty. Once I get to here, because I have this fed, that's when you can just start feeding it around the throat. Getting some brutal chokes here. And back up. And then, if they come down from here, I'm just gonna feed this across. I'm gonna start hunting for this sleeve again. Using all of these to just kind of take his weight the way I want it to go. And If you're weaker than your opponent, I highly advise playing around with this. This will save you a lot of trouble. That little bounce is what lets me get this fed so much. Now, what are you gonna do here? You're gonna clip my head? So I'm gonna try and feed this, but if I just can't get him off, I'm just gonna maintain control of this and start getting a lot of good tension here. Start trying to open him up. Okay. You notice anytime I actually knock him over from there, my legs are all the way up behind his head. I'm not just trying to sweep it from here. I'm trying to load myself up all the way, bite, and then my left arm is doing a lot of the work. Just that shot put motion. All right. That's about all there is to the flower sweep. You can of course switch to and from arm bars into flower sweeps, but take one and keep it.